Don, while you and I were chatting, a friend of yours just walked up to home plate and got a hand.
Yes, I see them down there.
Who is he?
Big Joe, the jolter.
He's a pretty good outfielder himself, isn't he, Dom?
Yes, he is, Mel. One of the best of all time.
Thanks a lot, Dom DiMaggio, and congratulations on a wonderful season. And now as we come into the last half of the second inning here at Yankee Stadium, no score. Joe DiMaggio leads off. Right-hand hitter. Hit .346 on the season in 76 games in which he appeared after missing the first 65 because of his now celebrated injured heel. Don Newcomb starts to work, the big right-hander. Around comes the right arm, in comes the pitch, and it's outside. Ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. DiMaggio has been in 7 World Series. This is his 8th. And he has a lifetime World Series batting average of .290, 21 RBIs. Newcomb throws. DiMaggio takes right in there for a called strike. Newcomb, a great big fella, sort of untangles himself, and he goes into that wind-up, and he fires away. A 1-1 count on Joe. Spider Jorgensen deep at third near the line. Reese very deep, not too far over into the gap. Here's the pitch. Swung on, drill foul down the right field line, out of play. The ball hitting the upper deck and bouncing downstairs, and it's a 1-2 count on Joe. Johnny Lindell is on deck with Billy Johnson to follow. 0-0, last half of the second. Gene Hermansky has just put on his sunglasses. The sun begins to peep out again here at Yankee Stadium. The wind is blowing in a mild fashion at the moment toward left a bit and also toward right just a bit. It's a variable wind, but not too strong right now. Here's your pitch. And DiMaggio swings and misses. Strike 3. Tried to hold up, but couldn't. It was a high inside fastball that DiMaggio started to go for. He tried to hold up, but he went around. Big Cal Hubbard went up for the right hand, and it's strike 3. Here's Johnny Lindell, who with one mighty swipe of his bat on Saturday enabled the Yankees to stay alive in the American League pennant race since it tied the Yanks with the Red Sox, broke a 4-4 tie in that particular ball game, and made it possible for the Yankees to go into Sunday with a chance to win the pennant, which they did. Don Newcomb goes to work on the right-hand hitter, and the pitch is right in there for a call strike, right over the inside corner, belt high. Newcomb looks sharp. Outfield playing Lindell to pull. Carl Frillo is looking for John to hit over toward right center a bit. Frillo's over in front of the Yankee bullpen. Now the delivery. Change up is swung on, lined out to left field for a base hit. The ball is taken by Hermansky on 2 or 3 hops, clips his peg into second, cut off by Reese, and Lindell is on with a single to left field. He changed up on Lindell, and Johnny immediately spiked the liner into left for the single. And the first Yankee hit of the game. Now Billy Johnson steps in. Lindell had been in 2 previous series, 43 and 47. Billy Johnson also in the 43 and 47 World Series. Johnson, a right-hand batter. Billy hit .251 on the season. Below his par, the delivery right in there for a call strike. Outfield well spread out for Johnson. He can pull, he'll slice, and he can hit a long ball. Jorgensen halfway back at third, couple of feet off the line. Reese in a couple of steps at short, 5 strides to the left of second. Here's the pitch. Swung on, a ground ball hit foul down the third baseline. Frank Crosetti, coaching at third, grabs it. And it's a 2-strike count on Billy. Cliff Mapes is on deck. Crowd sitting back rather quiet, waiting for the big explosion that generally will take place in a tight ball game. And, of course, they're ready to yell at the first opportunity either of these teams gives them. A 2-strike count on Billy. Lindell moves off first, 1 away. Here's your pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Went down swing on the fastball. That Newcomb has got a quick one. He's really alive with it, isn't he, Red?
Well, Mel, he struck out 149 and only came up after the season was a month old, so you can figure it out for yourself.
Here's Cliff Mapes stepping in, who on the season hit .243. Played great defensive ball for the Yankees. Got a tremendous arm. They play him to pull sharply in center and right. And now Bert Schotten is moving Gene Hermansky way over into left center. Newcomb's delivery swung on and fouled back. Strike one. Mapes is another of the Yankee left-hand hitters who, on occasion, will line that ball down the left field line. And they're giving him plenty of that sector at the moment. A great deal, however, depends on the way a man is pitched as to where he's going to hit the ball, and the boys in the field generally know, everything being equal, where he might hit it in the general direction if he hits the pitch. Newcomb throws. Mapes takes inside around the knees. Ball one, 1-1. Pee Wee Reese deep at short, over towards second. He's about 2 strides or so to the left of second base. Spider Jorgensen halfway back, 10 feet off third base line. Gil Hodges just in behind Lindell with 2 down, and Jackie Robinson at a point about halfway between first and second bases. No scores yet, 2 away. Here's your delivery. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Newcomb just overpowering Mapes, as he did DiMaggio and Johnson. And as a matter of fact, he might have done the same to Lindell. He slowed up on John, and John opportunity to capitalize on the change of pace with that line drive to left. A 1-2 count on Mapes. 2 down, no score. Last half of the second inning. Dodgers and Yankees at Yankee Stadium. It's the World Series. Newcomb throws. Mapes swings and misses. Strike 3, and he strikes out the side. He blazed it in there. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on, and a hand for Newcomb as he leaves the mound. Check that. 1 man left on base. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on. 3 strikeouts for Newcomb, all in the top half of the second inning. Let me double checking your totals. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. And thus the score at the end of 2 innings, 0-0. The Dodgers, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on. The Yankees, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on. Now, before we move into the top half of the third inning as the Dodgers come to bat, we pause for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
WOR and WOR-FM, your World Series stations in New York.
This is Mel Allen with Red Barber, bringing you the 1949 World Series from Yankee Stadium, another in Gillette's cavalcade of sports broadcasts. The year round, they bring you the outstanding bowl games, fights, the World Series, the All-Star Game, and we hope that you're going to enjoy to the hilt the 1949 Fall Classic. And now, as we go to the top of the third inning, Don Newcomb steps in a hitting position. He's a left-hand hitter and a good hitter for a pitcher. We watched him hit one on that All-Star Game that Ted Williams made a sensational catch on to rob him of an extra base hit. Reynolds throws in there for a called strike. Outfield playing Newcomb to, well, they're playing him almost straight away. DiMaggio straight away in center. Lindell not too close to the left field line, and Mapes not too close to the right field line. The left fielder and right fielder in toward DiMaggio straight away. The pitch is swung on, a bounder hit out toward short. Rizzuto charges it up with it, throws over to Henrik in time, and there's 1 away. Newcomb grounds out. Rizzuto to Henrik. 1 away for the Dodgers in the top of the third inning. And now we go to the top of the order again for the brilliant shortstop and captain of the Dodgers, Pee Wee Reese. A nickname that, in a sense, is a misnomer, isn't it, Red? Because Reese certainly is no Pee Wee.
Mel, he got the name when he was a marble shooting champion back at Louisville, playing Pee-wees.
I used to shoot marbles. Wasn't very good. They never won a championship, Ed. Reese grounded out to Henrik in the first inning, right-hand hitter. Reynolds throws, fastball in there for a call strike. 0-0. Top half of the third, 1 out, nobody on. Bill Johnson in close at third. In the event Reese drops a bunt down, which Pee Wee can do on occasion. He's quick getting away from that plate. Reynolds sidearms him. Pitch is bunted right down to a third. Johnson charges up with it, fires over to Henrik, and it's in time for the out. I don't think Pee Wee was reading our minds, but he did dropped one down there beautifully, and Reynolds came very close to messing up the play. Johnson finally hollered him off. Reynolds was moving away from the play at first toward the third baseline while Johnson was moving in, and Billy with that rifle arm fired Pee Wee out. Here's Spider Jorgensen swings, sends a grass cutter out to second. Coleman scoops it up, throws over to Henrik, and the inning is over. So the third baseman, second baseman, shortstop each had an opportunity that inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. And the score at the end of 2.5 innings remains the Dodgers nothing, the Yankees nothing. As Dom DiMaggio, famous outfielder of the Boston Red Sox, told you, Gillette Blue Blades are tops for shaving ease and economy as well. That's because they have the keenest, most beautifully finished edges ever produced. Those edges also are hard enough to cut glass, so they shave and shave and shave. Never break down prematurely like ordinary blades that scrape and pull. Now I know you'll find the modern Gillette dispenser just as handy as Dom DiMaggio does. You see, it zips the blades out unwrapped, ready for use, saving you time, fuss, and bother. Ask for Gillette Blue Blades and the modern Gillette dispenser. They come factory sharp and stay that way until used. You get 20 blades, 40 shaving edges for 98 cents. 10 blades for 49 cents. Remember, look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Use Gillette Blue Blades with the sharpest edges ever honed. Last half of the third inning at Yankee Stadium, no score. Jerry Coleman, the number 8 hitter in the Yankee batting order, will lead off. Then will come Allie Reynolds, and the top of the order, Phil Rizzuto. Coleman, a right-hand hitter, playing in his first World Series. A Yankee rookie this year who played sensational second base defensively and pretty good clutch hitter. It was his hit in the 8th inning with the bases loaded that iced the pennant for the Yankees against the Red Sox on Sunday. Newcomb throws. The pitch is swung on, foul off to the right of the plate, into the upper deck, and a World Series souvenir for someone who also will wind up with a swollen hand for a couple of days. 1 strike to count. I could hear that ball hit that meat hand, couldn't you, Red? 1 strike to count on Jerry Coleman. Jerry hit .275 on the season. San Francisco boy. The pitch, curveball, is just outside, ball 1, 1-1. Coleman acts exactly, it is his mannerisms, are almost a faithful reproduction of Frank Crissetti's, and yet the one did not know the other. At a time in the formative stage when you develop those little mannerisms you do have playing ball. The 1-1 delivery, swung on, hit foul down the first baseline, a liner, strike 2, 1-2 the count. The ball skipped up into the stands, into the boxes, and the usual scramble for a World Series souvenir. Another thing, Crissetti and Coleman both come from San Francisco, and for a long while even Jerry's own teammates thought that he pattered himself deliberately after Crissetti. The way he'd move his shoulders, the way he handled the ball, the way he got it away in a hurry. But it turned out it was strictly coincidental. 1-2 the count on Coleman. Last the third inning, 0-0. Big Don Newcomb starts to work. Around comes the right arm. In comes the pitch, and it's over that outside corner for a call, strike 3. Man, I mean, he cut loose a fastball. It looked like an aspirin tablet coming up there. And that is the 4th strikeout for Newcomb, and 4 out of the last 5 batters. Up comes Allie Reynolds. Reynolds hitting at .221. If Newcomb continues at this pace, we'll be going to those World Series record books, Red. Newcomb's first pitch to the right-hand batter. Reynolds swings and fouls it off behind the plate. Strike 1. Newcomb must be pretty quick because they're not looking for Reynolds to pull him. The outfield is shading toward right on Reynolds. Allie can swing the bat pretty well for a pitcher. Jorgensen's hanging around in close at third and near the line. Reese over toward second. Here's Newcomb's delivery. Reynolds swings and sends a fly ball down the left field line, and he did pull him, and Hermansky can't get it, and the ball is by him, and Reynolds is going to go for two. Here comes the throw, a beautiful throw, but Reynolds goes in standing up with a double. The ball gets by Robinson, but Gil Hodges is backing up. Allie Reynolds caught him, overshifted for him, as they didn't figure Allie could pull Don, but he did. As an ordinary fly ball that Hermansky could have put in his hip pocket had he been playing Reynolds to pull, but he was way over in the left center and couldn't catch up to it. So that's the Yankees' second hit of the ball game. 3 in the game. The Dodgers have had 1. And up is Phil Rizzuto, who fouled out in the first inning to Campanella. The pitch is swung on, fouled back to the screen. Strike 1. Last half of the third inning. 1 out, and Reynolds on second base. Outfield for Phil. Almost straight away. Snyder's just a step over into left center. Spider Jorgensen hanging around in close at third. Now he backs up a step. Not too deep. Don Newcomb stretches, pitches. Phil takes just off the outside corner, and the count is evened up at 1-1. And so the crowd now has begun to warm a little bit to the situation with a runner in scoring position. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, no score. Last of the third inning. Newcomb has his sign from Campanella. He's ready to work. Here's his pitch, and it is swung on. A little pop-up hit back first. There's Robinson going out on the grass in short right, makes the catch, and Reynolds holds at second base. Rizzuto lifts a pop-up back to first, which Jackie Robinson eased over to get. And now Tommy Henrik is coming to bat with 2 down. Tommy was tossed out by Pee Wee Reese in the first inning. Yogi Berra moving up into the batter's circle with his shin guard still on with 2 down. He will not bat in this inning unless Henrik keeps the Yankee hopes alive. It's a 0-0 ball game, last of the third. The Dodgers have had a runner as far as third. Hermansky in the second inning. Reynolds is the furthest a Yankee has been. He's on second base. Lindell singled, but didn't get any further than that in the second inning. Newcomb with the stretch. Reynolds with a short lead. Here's your pitch. Henrik takes inside for a ball. Roy Campanella, very agile back of that plate, moves his feet around beautifully. As soon as he catches that ball, he's got that arm cocked and ready to fire in the event a throw is necessary to any base. Nobody is darting around trying to hold Reynolds close because he doesn't have too big a lead. 2 down, stretched by Newcomb. Here's your pitch. Henrik swings and pops it up into the air toward third. Jorgensen getting out of the ball, and then Reese shakes him off and says he's got it, and does make the catch for the out. No runs for the Yankees. 1 hit. No errors for Brooklyn. And 1 man left on for New York. I might add that at this time of year at Yankee Stadium, when the sun is out brightly, particularly a little bit later on in the ball game, the sun field, which is left field, is a murderous one. And also, those who might be playing in center, if they're not accustomed to the situation here at Yankee Stadium, might find it difficult, as Pete Reeser did in 1947. The sun is in behind home plate, and it's a triple-deck stadium. So a ball comes up out of home plate, and as it gets as high as the stadium, which is pretty high, and it has the stadium as a background, then suddenly, as it gets higher than the stadium, it's right into that sun and in there in a hurry. And so frequently it can give the outfielders trouble, even those who play against it all season long. Now at the end of 3 innings, the score 0-0. The Dodgers no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on. The Yankees no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. This is Mel Allen with Red Barber, bringing you the 1949 World Series from Yankee Stadium with the best wishes and compliments of the makers of the Gillette Safety Razor Company. And we're ready now to move into the top half of the 5th inning of a scoreless ball game. It's Carl Furillo leading off for the Dodgers. Gil Hodges and Roy Campanella to follow. Allie Reynolds pitching for New York. Furillo walked in the second inning. Right-hand batter. Reynolds into the windup. In comes the pitch. Swung on. A ground ball hit out toward second. Coleman gets to go through his legs into right field for an error, and Furillo is on. ground ball, an easy chance that Jerry Coleman allowed to go right through his legs into right field. Mapes backed up, fired to second. Furillo holds at first. It's the first error of the ball game. And in this type of game, where two teams are battling it out tooth and nail on even terms, it takes the breaks to determine the ultimate winner. Perhaps that's it. Only time will tell. Meantime, here's Gil Hodges, who bounced into a double play in the second inning, right-hand hitter. Reynolds pitches. Hodges swings and misses. Strike one. The sun is playing hide and seek, and right now it is hiding. They play Hodges to pull in center to left. Mapes looking for him to slash to right. Johnson in close at third. Rizzuto moves in halfway at short. 3 strides to the left of the bag. Coleman in halfway, almost. 3 strides to the right of the bag. The pitch is bunted down toward third. There's Johnson up with the ball. Fires to Henrik in time. Rizzuto races over to cover third as Furillo had taken his turn and third base was left uncovered. But when Phil raced over, Furillo held up. So Hodges sacrifices. Furillo to second is out. Johnson to Henrik. And Bert Schotten is playing it very close to the vest, evidently feeling that as these two pitchers thus far have performed, conceivably, 1 run could win it. Roy Campanella, right-hand hitter, steps up. And on the other hand, Bert might feel, well, here's a break. I'd like to try and capitalize on it as quickly as I might possibly can. Campanella flied to right field in the second inning. Right-hand hitter, stockily built fella in close to the plate. Bat cocked off his right shoulder. The pitch right in there for a called strike. 1 out, a runner in scoring position. 0-0 ball game, top of the 5th inning. Outfield around toward left. This is a big man for Reynolds. Campanella bent at the knees, awaits the pitch. Here it is. Swung on, grounded foul off to the left of the plate. An inside pitch that Roy went for, hoping to pull sharply inside the bag, but he pulled it too much and he went foul off to the left of the Dodger dugout, which is located between third base and home plate. The Yankee dugout located, of course, between home plate and first base. A 2-strike count on Roy. 0-0, top half of the 5th inning. Reynolds gets his sign from Berra, has the stretch. Furillo moves off second. Here's the pitch. Campanella takes high and inside. Ball 1, 1-2. Clouds are creeping up overhead now, ominous-looking ones. A bit of a haze over the field, just a slight one. Reynolds taking his time. Campanella, who stands deep in the batter's box, in close to the plate, has with his right foot as his left foot or forward foot pulled slightly away. All right, here's your pitch. Curve is outside. Ball 2, 2-2. You've got Cal Hubbard calling balls and strikes of the American League. Beans Reardon of the National League umpiring at first base. Art Pastorell of the American League at second. And Lou George of the National League at third, with your foul line umpires, Ed Hurley of the American League in right and George Barr of the National League in left. Outfield toward left for Campanella. Johnson deep at third near the line. Rizzuto over toward second. A lot of room between third and short. Here's your pitch. Campanella takes high. Ball 3, 3-2. Very high. Full count now, 3-2. Jerry Coleman moves in from second base to the edge of the infield grass and hollers to Reynolds. It was Jerry, of course, who got Reynolds into this situation by allowing Furillo's routine bounder to go through his legs into right field for the first error of the ball game. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And now Reynolds has either got to come in there with the pitch or put the runner on at first. Of course, if he makes it too good, Mr. Campanella can blast it somewhere. Reynolds shakes off the sign, then takes a little too much time, and Campanella steps out on him very quickly. Little pitching tricks, all of them used to try to get a batter a little bit on edge, a little more on edge than he already is. Full count, 3-2 the stretch. Furillo moves off second. In comes the pitch. Campanella takes high and inside. He walks, and there are runners on first and second, and 1 out. And Don Newcomb coming to bat. An error and a walk, with a sacrifice in between. have put 2 Dodgers on, first and second, 1 away. Newcomb was tossed out by Rizzuto in the 3rd inning. If those of you like to figure baseball close, can figure that Campanella's walk was, of course, the direct result of the error made by Coleman and the sacrifice that moved Brillo, who was safe on the air, to second because he had to work very carefully on Campanella for fear that he might get the base hit that would drive in the run and break the tie. Newcomb, powerful left-hand hitter, up, takes a pitch in there for a called strike. When I say he's powerful, he is that. Red, they tell me in the celebration in the clubhouse in Philadelphia on Sunday that he picked up a couple of the Dodgers and held them at arm's length. Is that true?
Well, I think he had managed a shot in both arms, Mel.
Perillo moves off second. Campanella off first. The pitch. Newcomb takes high and outside. Change up. And the count is 1-1. And now here's Jake Pittler starting in toward the plate. But I thought he was going to talk to Newcomb, but it was a glove. Newcomb's glove that he had dropped just outside the third baseline. Too close to the line, and Milton Stock, I should have said, just simply tossed a little further away. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Don Newcomb, the batter. Carl Perillo is on second base. Roy Campanella on first. And 1 away, scoreless ball game, top of the 5th. On deck is Pee Wee Reese. The stretch by Reynolds. Here's the pitch. Newcomb takes a curve that's just outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Very close, but not there, says Cal Hubbard. Bill Johnson's in close at third, about 5 feet off the third baseline. Rizzuto in 3-4 steps, and 3 strides to the left at second. Jerry Coleman 4 strides to the right. Here's your pitch. Newcomb swings and he misses. Strike 2. He tried to hold up at a fastball that might or might not have been just above the shoulders. In other words, it might or might not have been called a ball. It was very close. It's a 2-2 count on Newcomb. 0-0 the score, top of the 5th inning. Reynolds getting ready. Perillo on second. Campanella on first, lead. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on it, missed. Strike 3. He fired a fast one by Newcomb, and they're 2 down. And coming up to bat, one of your great ball players of the day, and a great guy when the chips are down. Pee Wee Reese grounded out to Henrik in the 1st inning. Bunted and was tossed out by Billy Johnson in the 3rd inning. That's only the 2nd strikeout for Reynolds, who has walked 3. And Pee Wee steps in. Bats him right-handed. Perillo on second. Campanella on first, 2 down, 5th inning, no score. Reynolds ready. Here's the pitch. Reese swings and sends a bounder to Johnson. Grabs a 2-hop, steps on third for the force out on Perillo, and Reynolds pitches out of the jam. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 2 men left on. And the score at the end of 4.5 innings, 0-0. To soften your whiskers thoroughly for slick-looking, comfortable shaves and destroy infectious germs at the same time, use Gillette shaving cream, lather or brushless, containing K34. This amazing facial antiseptic gives valuable protection against unsightly skin conditions caused by dangerous bacteria. K34 does what no amount of scrubbing with ordinary soap and water can accomplish. It actually destroys up to 99% of all bacteria on the skin and beneath its outer layers. What's more, the bacteria count stays down. The protection lasts. Oh, yes, and another thing. You'll find that Gillette shaving creams are exceptionally fast-acting beard softeners and mighty kind to sensitive skin. So folks enjoy the valuable protection of K34 and get smoother, easier shaves as well. Use Gillette shaving cream, lather or brushless. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with a great deal of pleasure, introduce to you my co-worker on this broadcast of the World Series, a fellow who has established a reputation in sports broadcasting, second to none, and who has been broadcasting World Series since 1935, so he really knows what it's all about, the old redhead, Red Barber.
Thank you, Mel. Newcomb makes his first pitch last of the 5th inning, a curveball over for a called strike to Billy Johnson, the stocky right-hand hitting third baseman of the Yankees. Very kind words, Mel, and I might say that there have been three fellows pitching so far. Newcomb, Reynolds, and you. Nice to be with you. Nice to be back with Jimmy Britt, who's doing the television for Gillette. Here's Newcomb pitching a curve on the outside for a called second strike. He's quickly gone ahead of Johnson. He struck him out in the second inning. Also for our Gillette broadcast, Rini Canizares is back on the job. Of course, I don't know what he's saying because he's doing it in Spanish. These broadcasts go all over the world. Outfield deep, shaded toward left. Johnson, a powerful hitter when he hits one, crouches, swings and misses on a curve on the outside, a sharp curve, and on three pitches he's retired for the second time on strikes. It's 5 strikeouts for Newcomb. The story so far today is simply power pitching. Newcomb and Reynolds. They are both hard ball pitchers with sharp curves. They throw their curveballs hard. They only let up once in a while. They don't monkey with such stuff as knuckleballs or screwballs. They are orthodox pitchers, and both of them strong and both of them willing. And both of them are ready. Now Cliff Mapes, the tall, left-hand hitting rookie right fielder, leaning in, swings and nubs one foul, back of first base on the ground. Bill Dickey, familiar figure at Yankee Stadium, scoops up the ball, throws it out. For the Brooklyn Club of Field, the game stands no score. Newcomb on the mound. Campanella is his battery mate back at the plate. Hodges at first, Robinson at second, Reese at short, and Johnny Jorgensen at third. The outfield is Hermansky in left. In center field, Snyder, the right field, Ferrello. The defense is toward right, Spess in the outfield. Mapes swings as a foul in the third base stands and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. Quite a scramble as that ball comes out of the upper deck, down below in the lower boxes. I noticed something here at Yankee Stadium today I've never seen in the World Series before. The Yankees, who of course have the great championship record and the great World Series record, have gone back into their archives and have pulled out all their World Championship and their League Championship banners, and they have them all around the stadium, and it's an impressive scene. The next pitch is a fastball low outside to Mapes, right-hand pitcher. Don Newcomb, who pitches with a very easy move. He's a big man. There are 2 big men right down there. The plate umpire, Cal Hubbard, who's even bigger. And these are 2 big men who move very gracefully. They can move just as quickly as smaller fellows. Newcomb ready to pitch 1 and 2 does. Mapes swings it and hits it foul down on the ground. Ball bounces up dead, and Mapes himself grabs it. Hands it to Campanella. It's examined routinely by plate umpire Hubbard, and the ball left in play. 1 man out. Nobody on, last of the 5th inning. The pitching has predominated. The Dodgers have had more scoring opportunities. The Yankees have had 1 man get on. Brooklyn had quite a few. 1 and 2 pitch, low inside for ball 2. The Dodgers have had, the Yankees have had 2 men on. The Dodgers have had 5. 1 hit, 3 walks, and an error. The Yankees 2, the Dodgers 5. Brooklyn's had men twice reach second base with 1 out. 1 man reached second base, nobody out. 2-2 pitch to Mapes. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Fastball on the knees on the outside strikes him out for the second time. 6 strikeouts for Newcomb. And Jerry Coleman, who looked at a called 3rd strike in the 3rd inning. He works well upon the handle of that bat. He chokes his bat far more than any other player in the series. He's a slender hitter. Likes to punch that ball, and it's obvious by the way he swings that favorite target of his is to take a shot at right field. He realizes he does not have the physical strength to overpower the ball, so he tries to play his game according to his own physique of timing the ball. Fastball through there, called strike. Big Hubbard throws that right ham of his high in the air. Strike 1. Campanella, stocky, and a very steady target back at the plate. Settles down now to give the sign. When Roy comes up after giving the sign, he gives the pitcher 4 points. His 2 knees and his catcher's mitt, which is not held back at the plate but to one side and his right hand to the other. Newcomb pitches a curve, low outside, 1 and 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Neither Mel nor I have made very much conversation with you this afternoon about the crowd because just everybody's here that the stadium will hold. Everybody knew that. That was going to scramble for seats. Has just been rather quiet because there just weren't any. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a foul ball off. See, at the stadium, season seat holders who hold boxes all season long, they have their boxes for the World Series, plus the option of purchasing the same number of seats again in the reserve row. And, of course, when you realize the baseball requirements that have to be met for all the major league teams and the 2 league offices and the commissioner's office, well, that means that seat situation, especially where you have the season ticket holders on it, moves pretty routinely. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out, no score, nobody on, last of the 5th. Newcomb's pitch, low outside. Coleman just did check himself in time. The crowd has not had occasion for a real good bellow outside of their salute to DiMaggio when he stepped in to be the first hit in the last of the 2nd inning. There is no background in back of center field. As a rule, there's a canvas screen. And in the regular season, they have the screen up, and therefore there are no bleacher rights sitting out there in dead center field. But now for the World Series, the bleachers are completely jammed, no screen. Newcomb steps to the back of the mound, takes a handkerchief, mops his face. It's a shirt sleeve afternoon, especially out in the bleachers. After rain early this morning, the day became muggy, and right now it is hot and humid, especially for this time of the year. And the sun comes and the sun goes. Right now the sun is out brightly, especially for the left and center fielders. They're in sun. Newcomb pitches again, 2-2. Strike 3, swinging a sharp curveball. Coleman couldn't even set himself to swing hard. It's 7 strikeouts for Big Newcomb. So he has struck out now. Johnson twice, Mapes twice, and Coleman twice. That's 6 of them. His 7th is DiMaggio. That's the 2nd time he has struck out the side. So at the end of 5 innings, we'll check our totals. No runs, 1 hit, and no errors for the Dodgers. No runs, 2 hits and 1 error for the Yankees. Reynolds, a strong-arm right-hander, who has not been as, should we say, as brilliantly as impressive as far as strikeouts are concerned as Newcomb, but in the business that counts, he has been very impressive. He has seen to it that there has been no scoring. No scoring at all, and that's what the payoff on in this business. The matter of runs.
30 cents.
Reynolds has had to pitch out of 3 serious threats. In the 1st inning, there was a slight misjudgment on a ball drilled into left center field by Jorgensen. The misjudgment on the part of left fielder Lindell. And so there was Johnny Jorgensen here at the bell with 1 out at second base. Reynolds pitched out of that. In the 2nd inning, he walked the first 2, which is always an unsettling thing for a pitcher at most any time. And then he saw that Hodges did not sacrifice them over, got him to hit into a double play, in which he himself started it. In the 5th inning, as Mel told you, the error by Coleman might have been unsettling. Then came the sacrifice. They walked the Campanella, but he struck out Newcomb, got Reese on a force. So, here we go into the 6th inning, no score. Johnny Jorgensen has Brooklyn's 1 hit. Left-hand batter, only weighs about 150 pounds. He'll weigh less than any player in the World Series. Outfield toward right. Right-hander Reynolds pitches an overhand curve that's good for a called strike. Reynolds on the mound and Berra with the tools on back of the plate. Tommy Henrik at first base. Jerry Coleman at second. The shortstop is Phil Rizzuto, and the third baseman Billy Johnson. Lindell in left field. The great DiMaggio is in center. Right field Cliff Mapes. Pitch. Fastball swung on, drilled in the right field corner. It is just foul. Into the stand. Just foul. No question about it. 3 umpires right on the line. That ball, the stands right at that point are nearer to home plate than at any other point at Yankee Stadium, 296 feet. That ball went foul by about a yard. But it's a very tough angle for an umpire to have to rule, especially if he's back of the plate. Not quite as tough as he's at first, but it's no problem at all if an umpire's in the right field corner. And that is where umpire Hurley was. So you had right on the line, all 3 of them, Hubbard back of the plate, Reardon at first, and Hurley in the right field corner. Commissioner Chandler's innovation of taking the alternate umpires and putting them in the foul corners is a wonderful efficiency asset. Jorgensen takes a high inside fastball. The crowd roared simply because Berra had to reach up to pull it down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jorgensen first up in the 6th inning. No score. Gillette very privileged to bring you these broadcasts of these great events. This is the 11th straight World Series for Gillette. Fastball low outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jorgensen steps out, hits the soles of his shoes with the heavy end of the bat, knocking a little play out. Jorge chokes that stick about an inch, an open stance. Right-hander Reynolds pitches. Too high, 4-3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Milton Stark coaching at third. Jake Fittler at first. Jorgensen, who's hitting second on the batting card, is leading off here in the 6th inning. Snyder on deck, then Robinson. Tough ball game. Big crowd just waiting for something to break. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. So Jorgensen throws his bat away. And this is base on balls number 4 given up by Reynolds. Newcomb has not walked anyone. So Jorgensen opens up the inning. And the Dodgers have now begun their 4th scoring thrust. But the first 3 were negated by Reynolds, who has pitched very stoutly in the clutches. Duke Snyder, who is 0 for 2, who had the count his way, 3-1 in the first inning, and then swung prodigiously at 2 fastballs, as Mel pointed out to you. Sets to bunt and takes a curve that is in under the shoulders on the outside. Call strike. Snyder drew back from that, thinking that he wouldn't be in the strike zone, but that curveball of Reynolds, which is a good one, ducked down and in there and got it. Nobody out, no score. Henry holding first base tightly. Reynolds has to come to his set position now with a man on at first behind him. He's a right-hand pitcher. Nobody throwing in the Yankee bullpen. Fred Sanford was up in the 2nd inning when they walked the first 2 men. Snyder crouches. The pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 2. It was a curveball that seemed to be under the waistline and over. 0-2. Reynolds is a very solid fellow, big through the chest, shoulders, and hips. Infield, upper step, outfield, overshifted into right. They play Snyder, the left-hand hitter, to pull. Swings and misses, strike 3. That for Reynolds gives him 3 strikeouts. And we have 10 strikeouts so far. Newcomb has struck out 7. So it continues to be, so far, pitching and power pitching. In other words, these 2 fellows are not finessing anybody. They're just throwing it past him. Fastballs and curves. Newcomb hasn't fooled with a change of pace since Lindell singled off of it in the 2nd inning. And Reynolds has only thrown 1 real change of pace, and that was high outside for a ball. Jackie Robinson, who won the batting title, beating Stan Musial out by 3 points. 0 for 2 today, right-hand hitter. Takes a curve that is low, too low, ball 1. Robinson in the 1st inning, a fly ball to Mapes in right field, and in the 4th inning, he was thrown out, 3rd baseman Johnson, to 1st baseman Tommy Henry. Henry continues holding first base against Jorgensen. Jorgensen is not too much of a running threat as far as the steal is concerned. He only stole 1 base in the pennant campaign, and that was the last day of the season. Throw to first, not in time. Jorgensen thought the throw would be closer than it was and dove back in with his hands. Robinson holds that club down by the end. Rear foot on the back line of the box, slightly open stance, bent at the knees. The pitch, too low, and it is ball 2. Reynolds has a let-up off of his fastball, which has a tendency to sink. And that's what he threw just now to Jack. Pitches such as Reynolds, pitches such as Newcomb, is easy for a broadcaster to read. He's tough for a hitter, of course. The hitter's only 60 feet away. But now when Eddie Lofat pitches, it's going to be something to see what he's throwing all the time, because he throws everything. Now goes Jorgensen. Robinson swings and fouls it off on a hit-and-run play. Foul ball in the lower stand behind first. And that was a fastball that Reynolds had thrown in there on Jack's hands. Practically had it past him. All right, 2 balls, 1 strike. The sun is now out steadily. The skies are clear. They are blue and white up above. 2 innings ago, they were getting pretty leaden, pretty threatening. The weather forecast for today as well as for tomorrow, uncertain. It's the best way we can read it. There's a lot of 2-bit words, whereases, if-ases. Throw to first. Not in time. Henrik had to lean off the bag toward second base, pull it in. 2 balls, 1 strike. Robbie waiting at the plate. The plate hit and run on the last pitch. We'll see what they do now. Jorgensen holds. The pitch is swung on and fouled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the Dodgers were not running, but Robinson was up there hitting as he pleased. And, of course, he's up there probably hitting as he pleases now. Unless they should decide to play hit and run. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 away. Reynolds decides he'd just as soon pitch with another baseball, and that's agreeable with plate umpire Cal Hubbard, who makes the exchange. Now Alley turns his back on the plate, stands off the rubber, rubbing up the ball. Center fielder DiMaggio is veered over toward left center. Left and right field is straight away on Robinson. Infield is up a couple of steps, hoping for the DP. The Yankees have the game's only double play. Got that in the second inning. It took Reynolds out of a hole. The 2-2 pitch. Curve inside at the knees, and Jack took it. All 3. Now the Dodgers may elect to run. 3-2. Yogi Berra, I noticed in the papers, says that he's got a secret weapon now. He defies the Dodgers to run on him this year as they did 2 years ago. Of course, one thing, Berra's had 2 more years' experience, and this year he's had a chance to have some very fine catching points given to him by Bill Dickey. Now let's see. The 3-2 pitch, Jorgensen goes. Robinson swings, drills the ball in the left center. DiMaggio's got to go a long way. He's going, and he makes the grab of it in deep left center field. Jorgensen, who had rounded second, is on his way back to first. The relay from Rizzuto is not in time. That is the one hard-hit ball they've had so far in the game. Robinson drilled one a long way to left center field, but it's 457 feet to the barrier out there, and DiMaggio, one of the great outfielders of all time, very gracefully just turned and went and got it. It was hit a long way, but Joe can go a long way, and one of the reasons for his greatness is he makes it look easy. Jorgensen had already gotten on a third base out of second, and yet got back to first ahead of a good relay by Rizzuto. That tells you how far the ball was hit to left center. So DiMaggio comes up with the first real outfield catch. It's the first time that an outfielder has been severely challenged. So Robinson hits one, and DiMaggio says, that's just another out. Okay, 2 gone, and the batter is Gene Hermansky. 0 for 1. Base on balls in the second inning. Fly ball to right field in the 4th. Takes a called strike at the knees, and it is 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. The infield, with the exception of third base, is completely in shadow. Part of shortstop is in shadow. All of right field is in shadow. Center field and left field are in sun. Left field is the sun garden here at the stadium, not right field. Hermansky swings and doesn't get it. Went after looked sort of like a slider or a hard curve, maybe a let-up curve in by the hands. No balls, 2 strikes. When Reynolds gets men on, then he shows you something. It's been the pattern so far today. Jorgensen walked to open the 6th inning, and he's still there. It was quite a catch by DiMaggio. Reynolds steps off first base. Show you the tension that's in this game on every pitch. When Reynolds stepped off the mound, DiMaggio made a complete circle in center. Throw, swung on and missed curveball. So that was a change-up curveball for the 4th strikeout, and at the end of 5.5 innings, the score is still Brooklyn 0 and New York 0. If you asked Sid Gordon, the famous third baseman of the New York Giants, who, by the way, is right here with me, he'd tell you that the Gillette Super Speed Razor is a honey. Am I right, Sid?
That's right, Red. It's the sweetest shaving razor I ever used, and the most convenient.
Well, Sid, what do you like best about it?
Everything. It never jams or clogs. You change blades quickly, and it's no trouble to clean.
Ever used a Gillette razor before?
Yes, and every other kind, too, but never one like this.
Men, the Gillette Super Speed razor is the easiest shaving and handiest razor you can imagine. Yes, and listen to this. You get it in a handsome, serviceable styrene travel case with a 10-blade Gillette dispenser. A big $1.75 value for only $1. Ask for the new Gillette Super Speed razor set at any convenient store. Well, Sid, while we've got you here, what about this pitching? Would you like to be hitting against it?
Well, I'd certainly like to be playing in this ball game, but I'll say one thing for both pitchers. They've really got it today. Newcomb is as fast as I've ever seen him while I was hitting against him. Of course, I've never hit against Reynolds, and he certainly looks like he's got real good stuff today. Looks like it's going to be the team that gets the first break who's going to win this ball game.
Thanks a lot, Sid. Now let's see about the last of the sixth inning. First up for the Yankees is pitcher Reynolds, who has a two-base hit to his credit. Right-hand batter. Bunts up toward third base and fouls it off. He was bunting to try and add another base hit to the kitty. So Reynolds, who is a dominant figure, he and Newcomb so far are completely overshadowing the rest of the story. Reynolds, who, as Mel Allen told you in the third inning, with the defense pulled or backed into right field, pulled one in the left field corner, a fly ball that was in there for two bases. And he is the only Yankee who has reached second base safely. And he's the last one to get on. Newcomb's retired everybody since that double with one out in the third inning. Right-hand hitter. Don rears back, fires, swung on, hit sharply through between third and short for a base hit for Reynolds, who's really taken over for himself, isn't he? That's a solid single through between third base and Jorgensen and shortstop race. He captured that one. That gives him 2 for 2, and he's hitting Newcomb like he owns it, as is saying Train. So 3 hits for the Yankees, of which pitcher Reynolds has gotten the last 2. So the Yankee offense has been Lindell with a single with one out in the second inning, Reynolds a double with one out in the third, and now Reynolds a single opening up matters here in the last of the sixth inning. So Reese comes over from short, Hodges comes over from first. They talk to Big Newcomb on the mound for the moment. The Dodgers, of course, have to drape their defense now, ready for the bunt, and one of the most artful bunters in the game, Phil Rizzuto, the little leadoff man, is now up. Jorgensen in close from third. Here's the pitch, and it's a pitch out. Throw down to first base, and Reynolds is back. Robinson, the second baseman, came in to take the throw. That's a play that the Dodgers use upon occasion. Reynolds just did get back. Dickey, the first base coach, goes over and says, "Now listen, Allie, I'm going to put a rope on you." That's a play that has been used all through the years, in which there's an obvious bunt situation. The pitcher pitches out to the right-hand hitter. The first baseman, as the decoy, runs up toward the plate, and the second baseman tries to sneak in at first, as he did then. Pitch in there for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1. Hodges is up close, says something to Newcomb. Well, we'll know in a moment what manager Casey Stengel has got up his sleeve. Throw, bunted, foul. And Rizzuto, who is not only an excellent bunter, but he covers up until the last split second that he's going to bunt, because he doesn't run his right hand out along the bowl of the bat and then drop the bat on the ball. He bunts with merely a flick of the wrist, so he can wait until the pitch is practically on top of him, which is not calculated to make third baseman sleep too soundly. Anyhow, he bunted that one. So the infield now moves to double play depth. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The penalty is rather high for bunting foul with 2 strikes on you. Register is struck out. Throw, curve on the outside, 4 ball 2. No score. And the Yankees hoping to exploit the second base hit of Reynolds now into something here in the last half of the sixth inning. Hodges holding first, shorten the lead of the runner. The 2-2 pitch, swung on, hit down to third. Jorgensen up with it, throws to second to Robinson. The throw on to first base is not in time at first. Post play at second, and Reynolds really went in there with a rolling slide that would do credit to any ball player or any football player. This Reynolds is in that ball game there. He goes back into the Yankee bench, which is on the first base side of things. He's all covered with dirt. He stayed in there hard, and he made Robinson get off second base, and Reynolds broke up the double play. In other words, he did not allow Robinson to set and pivot at second. He made him get off the bag and then throw. And Rizzuto, who's fast, beat the relay. So it's a force play at second on Reynolds. Third baseman Jorgensen, second baseman Robinson, and the batter now is Tommy Henry, who is 0 for 2. Left-hand hitter and a dangerous one. Now Big Newcomb ready. Henrik swings a foul ball deep into left center field. Snyder's got a long way to go. He's under it. He's got it. So we have two center fielders who can really go get him. DiMaggio and this young fellow Snyder finishing out his first full year in the majors. So Henrik hit one, but it is out number 2. So that sort of evens up things. Robinson belted one, and DiMaggio went and took it in the upper part of the 6th inning. Very dangerous batter, Yogi Berra. He really took his favorite ball player to heart when he was a kid down in St. Louis. His heart went out to Joe Medwick back in that era. And Medwick, of course, was admittedly, and still is probably, the best bad ball hitter baseball ever saw. Well, Berra is heir apparent to that crowd. In other words, he's dangerous because he will hit a pitcher trying to waste on him even. And pitchers say, well, how do you pitch to a fellow like that? Rizzuto off first. Set to go. He's the Yankees' leading base stealer. The pitch to Berra swung on and fouled back. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. No score. 2 men out. Big Newcomb, for the first time, being duly deliberate. He'd been pitching steadily without wasting any time between deliveries. Works as a pitch out, but Rizzuto wasn't going. So Campanella, back at the plate, had called for a pitch out, and with Berra, that meant the ball to be delivered on the third base side. But Little Phil was staying home. Hodges holding first base against him. The umpire is Beans Reardon. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 gone. Throw. Fastball high outside. Throw down to first. Not in time again. 2-1. What Campanella is doing, the lingo of the trade, he's trying to help his pitcher. He throws to first. Not only is, when the catcher does that, is he trying to pick a man off, but he's trying to cut down his lead. Give the pitcher a little bit more leeway out there on the mound. Throw to first, not in time, Rizzuto back. Newcomb is not only young in years, but he's young in organized baseball, and he's finishing his rookie year. He's not the most polished pitcher in the world. Throws to first, and Rizzuto has to dive back. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now Little Phil's got that home white Yankee uniform all mussed up. He and Reynolds. The Dodgers are wearing slate gray, bluish tinged road suits. In fact, Brooklyn's uniforms are brand new. They never had them on until they pulled them on for today. And Mel tells me the Yankees have got brand new suits too. Well, everything for the big day. The 2-1 pitch, Rizzuto holds. Strike 2, swing into the curve at the plate. Those wrists of Berra's are really impressive. He too waits until that pitch is practically on top of him and then lets go. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outfield very much toward right. Yogi pulls in that direction. No score. 2-2 pitch. There's a high foul ball up and back, right behind us. Still 2-2. Use of our baseball is being brought up by Cal Hubbard. It was a very impressive and a thoughtful gesture that at the invitation of Commissioner A.B. Chandler, that the 9-year-old kid Bruce Howard, who has gotten over infantile paralysis, which hit him in July of this summer, was the guest of the commissioner and threw out the first ball. Throw to first, not in time. And it was a thing which Mayor O'Dwyer, who usually throws out the first ball, that is the mayor does, was very happy to step aside for this youngster to do. 2-2 pitch, swung on a miss, strike 3, fastball on the outside, Berra strikes out. So Newcomb has to fidget a little bit, but he pitches right along, records his 8th strikeout. And at the end of 6 innings, we'll check out totals. No runs, 1 hit, that was the first inning double by Jorgensen, and no errors for the Dodgers. For the Yankees, no runs, 3 hits, 2 of them by Reynolds, and for New York, 1 error. Now we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
WOR and WOR FM, your World Series stations in New York.